Hi everyone, this is Professor Alberto. I told you I was going to record a video just to explain to you the last um, grammar or topic that we were going to touch. And this, you can go on your book to page number 56. So this is in page 56. And today we are going to talk about the unreal, well, we will use the second conditional to talk about unreal situations. Okay, before we start with the second conditional, we're supposed to review the first conditional. Okay, and in the first conditional, we are actually talking about real or possible conditions and results. So let's go step by step. First, let's refresh the first conditional. Okay, now it is important that you know that in a sentence, in a conditional sentence, we have two parts. One part of a sentence, as you already know, is called clause. Okay? A clause, as you can see here, is a part of a sentence. So we have first a a conditional sentence which is integrated by two clauses. One is the condition clause and the second one is the result clause. As you can see here on your screen, we have the condition clause here, the possible condition, and the result clause, which is the possible result. Okay, so in the first conditional, the first thing that we have to do is that we have to add the particle if, as you can see here. The conditional clause, all right, the condition clause always has the if particle. Okay, so basically what you have here on your screen is if our advertising plan works, you see, comma, that is the first clause. So that is the condition clause. That means that if this happens, then you are going to get a result. So the conditional clause is formed by two parts. You have the particle if, and you form it with the simple present of the verb, as you can see. This is the first conditional, okay? So here we're going to go to the second sentence. Well, I could call it a sentence, but to the second part of the sentence, which is a clause, and this is the result. So it says, we will make it a permanent policy. Okay, so this is the result of this condition. If this condition is given, then you will get this result, this possible result. So let's read it complete. If our advertising plan works, we will make it a permanent policy. As you can notice, the second clause here, the result clause, is formed with will plus the verb, right? And the first part, the condition clause, is formed with the if particle and the simple present of the verb. That's how you form a first conditional sentence. So let's wrap up very quick. A conditional sentence always has if. Whenever you see the word if in a sentence, you have to revise if it is a conditional one, okay? Now, in the first conditional, the sentences have two parts. So the parts of the sentence have the name as clause. We have a result clause and we have a condition clause, okay? The condition clause, you form it with the particle if and the simple present. And the result clause, you form it with the auxiliary will plus the verb. That is the first conditional. that we use it to talk about possible or real conditions and results. Now, uh, let's go to the second conditional, which is the topic that we want to talk about, because I know that you saw the first conditional in the previous level of English. So here we go. We use the second conditional to talk about hypothetical or unreal conditions in the present or in the future. So pay attention to this. The first conditional is used for real or possible conditions, but the second conditional is used to talk about hypothetical things that are not real, okay, whether in the present or in the future. And as you can see, the final part of the paragraph says the result clause. Remember what a clause is? A part of a sentence. So the result clause describes unreal consequences, unreal results. Okay? So now let's see how you form a second conditional clause. Sentence. So first, the sentence is divided in two parts, in two clauses. Okay? We have the condition clause and we have the result clause. Let's focus first in the condition clause. Remember, the condition clause, it doesn't matter if it is in the first conditional or in the second conditional, the condition clause always starts with a particle if. Okay? As you can see here in the second part, right here, it says, if Alice had a year-long vacation. You see, we have the particle if, and here we have the simple past. Okay, so that's how you form the condition clause in the second conditional sentence. If plus the simple past in this clause. What happens in the second clause, in the result clause? Well, you form it with the auxiliary would plus the verb. Example, if Alice had a year-long vacation, she would sail around the world. Okay? But remember that we are talking about things that are not real. Okay? Here, when you say, if Alice had a year-long vacation, when you say that, that means that in reality, she doesn't have it. Okay? Because here you're talking about things that are not real. So you're giving a result which is fake, which is hypothetical, which is unreal, just to let you know. So very quick, to wrap up, a second conditional sentence is made by two clauses. Do you remember what a clause is? A part of a sentence. The first part, which is the condition clause, is formed with the particle if and the simple past. And the result clause, which is the second part, is formed with the auxiliary would and the verb. And that's how you form the second conditional sentences. Now, I want you to go over this information, repeat the video if it is necessary, and I want you to think about this little exercise, just for you to check your understanding, okay? And now, let's do the number one. It says, if today were a holiday. Now, if he says, if today were a holiday, do you believe that today is a holiday? Definitely not. Because when we use the second conditional, we are talking about things that are not real, things that don't happen in reality. So if I say, if I were rich, that means that I am not rich. Okay? So let's do the number one. It says, if today were a holiday, I would go to the beach. You have two options. Today is a holiday. Today is not a holiday. Which one do you think is the correct answer? Yes, if you went for the number two, that is the correct one. Today is not a holiday because I am saying if today were, that means that is not. Now it's your turn to go over the letter B, C, D, and E and just try to see which one is the real or the statement that is true. Okay? Be careful with the sentence because they're tricky. Then, the homework that I'm going to leave you in the platform is just to change the sentences here, page 56. You will have to change the sentences, okay, from the first conditional to the second conditional. Very easy. The sentences that you have here are already in the first conditional. So what you have to do is that you have to change those first conditional sentences to second conditional sentences. You have the example here. If the supervisor has time, we will meet him tomorrow. Check that in this sentence, we have the particle if, we have the simple present, we have the auxiliary will, and we have the verb. So this means that this one is a first conditional sentence. So what we're going to do? The following. If the supervisor had time, right? You see, we have the particle if that never changes. It doesn't matter in which conditional we are working on. Then we have had. Remember, here we had has, which is in present. And now we have had, which is in past, simple past. Then what happens in the second clause here? We would meet him, we would meet with him tomorrow. Well, check on the first one. Will, it is in the first conditional. Would, it is in the second conditional. And then we have the verb. So just make sure that you pay attention to what I said and get ready because this is the last assignment that you're going to have and that you will have to do it in the platform. If you have any questions, just make sure that you ask a question through WhatsApp and I'll be here to answer you before Friday. Cheers.